live. As promised, to all of you out there, we have brought in my good buddy Mike Bible Jr., representing Northwest Power Ranking. Glad to have you with us today, man.
Thanks for having me.
And also to my left, we have Deshaun Presley, our assistant AD, and to his left, Charles Burnham, our vice president of the league. So it's good to be here, guys.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. It seems like we got some good feedback from the last live stream. We're going to keep pushing and working on our show. It's only going to get better and better. But today, we have a bunch of people out there that are interested in the work that we're doing, especially around, organizing some ranking and scouting reports on teams. And we have one of the experts, a fellow that's been around this game in youth sports for quite some time. Some of you may have read some of his articles that's been listed up in the Northwest Facts, and also may have attended his tournament they put on last year for the power ranking. So at this point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to just take our time and ask Mike a couple of questions. So Mike, man, please share with us just a little bit about your background, and how you've been involved in youth football.
Well, first thing, thanks for having me, guys. Football has been my first love since I was a kid. I played junior football for CAY, SWAC, Rainier Green. That's what it used to be called back in the day for all us old school guys. So as a youth, I've always probably overthink it. Always critique my coaches on what they should have done or how they could have made it more fun and things like that. So as I got older and started learning more of the X's and O's, I said once I am done playing myself, I'm going to go back and give back to the community. So in 2004, I decided to coach, and SWAC Cougars gave me an opportunity. So ever since then, I was pretty much successful on making it fun, making it competitive, and for 9 years that I coached, every team went to the championship. So I feel real proud about that.
Yeah.
And so after 9 years of dedicating yourself to the community, and we all know it's a dedication.
Yeah, it is.
It's more than 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's really 4 because you guarantee yourself an hour to get there on time to practice, an hour after because you got to make sure kids get, picked up.
Right.
The field is clean and all that. So, for all the coaches, I hope that you guys feel the appreciation because we know the dedication that you give.
Right. Yeah.
So last year and years before that, I know you guys are very aware that there's always a lot of talk on who's the best teams. So that's pretty much how the power rankings came about. And so there's about 6 of us, me being 7 at Northwest Facts, came up with the power rankings. And we came up with a process that ultimately came up to be called the Northwest Power Rankings.
Well, I think it's a great idea. What do you guys thought about power ranking, man?
It's funny because it depends on who you're talking to, what demographic you're talking to. They may frown upon that, but our environment, the communities that we service and that we want to go into, that we are in, they love competition. Competition raises the bar, and when I hear people, they frown upon the rankings, you shouldn't have that at youth. That's because they're afraid of competition. Competition makes us all better. I wish I would have had something like that when I played the game. Or, I know, we came from the Greater East Side. Most people over there, they don't aspire to have something like that. They think it's too competitive. So anything we can do to raise the bar for our youth, at the same time, make it fun. Really, this is about the kids. As long as we make it about the kids, we're doing it we've got the right intentions. And if the kids want it, let's give it to them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Sean?
I think power rankings are a beautiful thing. I think it gives the kids, an opportunity to see what they can work towards. Having something like that, say for instance, if you have a team that is, currently ranked 1st in their division, you have a team that's ranked 6th. That's something that a coach can use as a tool to say, look, man, they underestimating us. You know what I mean? Let's work hard because we want that #1 spot. We want to go for it. Right. So I think it's an excellent thing. It's a great tool to have, and I mean, we can't ask for anything better, but just a ranking in our state.
You know, I think the other piece, man, being able to see youth football all over the country. In the Southeast, you go in Florida and the DMV and all up and down the East Coast in the South, man, they've been doing this for a while. Right. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, they're ranking our kids.
Right.
And who knows our kids better than we do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got firsthand, observation of these kids and these teams. And my whole focus on it, is that we're able to build a platform to bring more exposure to our kids, because some of our kids who play FBU, man, we saw a couple of years ago, you got kids in middle school that are being offered. They're being recruited to colleges, and some people say that's absurd, but the reality is it's happening. Right. And so I think the power ranking is bringing more exposure to our kids. And I think what it's going to do ultimately is going to bring a lot more camaraderie among the leagues, so we can have a little bit more interaction with one another.
Right, and that was ultimately the goal. First and foremost, we all know that Washington football as a state gets overlooked at all levels. So that's one thing we're trying to do is give a bigger platform and just shed a positive light on the good football that we do have here. And we have great coaches at all levels as well.
I was in a meeting earlier this week with a company, and one of the first things I told them, I said, we got the talent. Our kids are already competing nationally. People just don't know Washington. The landscape in Washington is different than it is in Texas, California, Florida. Those places you talked about. The culture, the football culture it's a lot more dedicated to it. The dedication is more year round. It's not seasonal like it is, like you see it here, where guys, it starts in July, August, and then it's done come November, December, and guys are off to basketball, baseball, rugby, whatever you have. There, it's year around. It's constant, and that's what we're trying to do here at Premier Youth Sports is change the landscape of the game for our youth and in high school. If we change it now when they're early, the high school levels, they're going to follow. They have to follow because those kids are going to have a level of expectation that they're going to expect to be continued when they leave us and get to the next level.
Right. So, Mike, I want to ask you another question. What leagues currently is Northwest Power Ranking currently observing to determine for the rankings?
Well, our system is under unlimited weight because mostly that's where the debates are at with unlimited weights teams. Plus, it's easier to gauge that versus unlimited weight. I mean, weighted leagues where it varies. You can't really put a level playing field on it because maybe one league may have a 14-year-old on a Bantam team and then another league may only do 13. So it's kind of hard to gauge those. So it's easier to do unlimited weight, which is mostly where the debate's from. So we picked 7 leagues that fit the criteria of what we're trying to do and accomplish. And we have Greater Seattle League, Northwest Premier. You guys know those guys, right? Okay.
Pretty familiar.
Greater Puget Sound, the Narrows League, the Nisqually League, the Thurston County League, and we just added the North Sound League.
Okay.
And they're out in Snohomish County. So we're dealing with we're dealing with 4 counties from Snohomish County, King County, Pierce County, and Thurston County. And that's where the process starts.
That's pretty awesome, man. So for a team or a league that is not on your radar, what would they need to do to get you guys to look at them? Like we got some friends over in Eastern Washington, the Columbia Basin League. What would they need to do to get put on the radar?
Well, we kind of talked about that, and we're still in the works on trying to get over to the east side. But I think right now we want to focus on our area, which is Western Washington. I think once we mastermind and get everybody on board to have a state championship through Western Washington side, then we can easily set the structure up over on the east side once we have it all here, down back here.
Agreed. And I think part of that process, would be for you to finish the recipe here, get it right. But let's start like we've done. We started building networks with Columbia Basin.
Okay.
We did a home and my 5-star program did a home with Hanford last year. They came here, played us at Genesee. My guy, my senior coach put the kids in the van and took them over, and they played again.
Right.
So building that network, doing things with them,
Right.
and then that also will open the door for people to get familiar with what you're doing here
Right.
in Northwest Facts, and hopefully you can build an affiliate
Mhm.
or something of that nature.
And that's what this is all about, networking, friendships. I mean, just think about the kids who played against the Columbia Blazing team. They may have switched Instagrams, Twitters,
Exactly.
and now they got a friend over on the east side.
Right.
So
That they never had.
Yeah, that now they got a friend with and be able to relate to as far as
Exactly.
the game of football created a new friendship. So I mean, that's what we're trying to do is raise the level of competition, but also have fun and network.
Yeah.
So are the rankings? This is just a general question. Are the rankings more on the individual player, or is it just the team itself?
It's a team concept. We're kind of trying to model it over, kind of how they do college football.
Okay.
I would love to tell you guys the process on how we do it, but
I understand.
yeah, it's like KFC's.
Yeah, right.
But for the most part, for the basics, you look at wins and losses.
Right.
You look at strength of schedule.
Mhm.
You look at strength of league, and then the eyeball test.
Mhm.
So I mean, with those factors, I mean, those are just the basics. But if you're winning, you're going to get ranked.
Right.
But remember, though, we're talking 4 counties.
Right.
So if a team is undefeated, it's hard to miss them.
Mhm.
But if you're a 750 team,
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that because you're not in the top 10. You might be right there on the bubble.
Right.
Because you're not listed in our top 10 doesn't mean we don't see you or have you there, But that's why we also do it every other week because things change. Or teams may have a bye. So we don't want everybody being missed out. So if you have a problem with the rankings, then you email me, and then the following week you lose. Well, then you can't blame me for that because when the rankings come out the following weekend, you may not be there, but you were right there on the bubble. So if you would have won that week, you probably would have been in Northwest Facts top 10 that following week. But last year that happened a lot of times where we got emails from coaches that had a legitimate reason to say, hey, our body of work, we feel like we belong, but then the following week, hey, you took an L, so there's nothing we can do about it because it is the top 10 out of 7 leagues.
Right. Right. So tell us a little bit about upcoming events. What are some events that you guys are considering hosting? For people to have access to some of these teams that you're ranking.
August we are hosting our first jamboree. It'll be August 12th, French Field. Kent Knights is helping us hosting it. We're looking for 8 teams per division, so 4th through 8th grade. The goal is to try to get everybody matched up with somebody that's outside your league, but we can't promise that, but that is the goal, to give everybody an opportunity to play somebody that they don't see in their league. And I mean, we understand it's August 12th, so if your offense only has 4 plays, come out there and run your 4 plays against
Which is all you want
whoever.
to do anyway.
Yeah,
It's
so
a jamboree. You don't want to
it's
show the
a
whole book
jamboree,
anyway.
right? So come out and have a great time, and let's network and see other talents from different areas and I mean, who knows? Coach may meet a guy from Thurston County that has deals on reconditioned helmets or whatever. It's just somewhere we all can come together and use our resources together.
What is the format of the jamboree? Is it your typical jamboree format?
Yeah, it's going to be a
One quarter?
typical jamboree format where we give everybody 2 games. We're trying to get it to where you wait no longer than an hour for your second game.
So it's 2 full games?
No, it's
the quarter
it's
format.
It's 30 minutes,
Okay.
15 offense, 15 defense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then after that game, you wait no longer than an hour, and then we'll
Okay.
get you on the field with somebody else.
Okay.
And I mean, we're trying to have some fun that day.
Yeah. And you said 4th through 8th, so did you guys add another division? Wasn't you guys 5th through 8th?
No, we were 4th through 8th.
Was you 4th?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. And we'll also do the Northwest Facts Championships again, which we consider Western Washington Championships. Last year, I believe, was very successful with the 4th and 5th grade divisions. I believe we had the top 4 teams in the state playing last year. far as 6th, 7th, and 8th grade with FBU. I think with the timing that we announced the championships, we couldn't get all of the top teams in. But this year, I believe we'll probably be successful to get all the top teams that we invite there. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, man.
All right.
So you ready for this?
All right.
So what I want you to do, based on your football knowledge and your crew, you know, and I know you can't speak for everybody there, I want you to throw out preseason top 5, 4th through 8th grade. So starting 4th grade, who's your preseason favorite? We know nobody's on the field yet,
Okay.
but just based on your observation from the last year and what you're hearing moves are being made,
Right.
what are your thoughts starting with 4th grade?
This is what I can tell you. Look out for Northwest Facts Edition in July.
I hear you.
Can't steal our thunder.
Yeah. Teaser.
Yeah, it was a major teaser. Huh?
Yeah.
That was the safe route.
Yeah.
He said, wait till July when I'm not on this set.
Yeah.
No
No
bullets.
bullets.
July, we'll put out the first rankings.
Okay.
The preseason rankings, we'll put that out.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
So one more question is, how do people follow your rankings and write-ups if they want to stay informed?
We have a media source online, northwestfacts.com. Every now and then we may put it in the Northwest Facts newspaper, but majority of the time it's always going to be on northwestfacts.com. We also it can be shared to social media. We had a lot of shares last year, people supporting it, whether it was positive or negative. It was getting out there and it was good discussion, and that's what it's all about. You know, good discussion, good topic, good debate, because that's what we're here for. We're here for competition. Who's the best? You know, I mean, there's a lot of grandmas that feel like they baby team is the team to beat. And so, to me, personally speaking, I think all-star games and FBU teams where you put together a cast of team players together on a team, I think that's great. But I think there's something even greater when you go to battle with a team all year and it's your guys from July or August, whenever you start practice, and you have a postseason tournament where, you know, you guys been grinding for 3-4 months, and to go try to win a state championship, for me, the way I feel about it is way more better experience than doing a all-star setting. So that's the reason why we came up with the Northwest Fact Championships to determine who's the Western Washington best team.
Building that brotherhood, right?
And building it.
And those memories
Oh,
that you're going to have for
Yeah.
a lifetime.
yeah.
You know, I know guys to this day who've gone to play college, you know, and beyond for some of them, but they still talk about those teams they played on in Little League.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like that was that first experience, and especially if you had an opportunity for your team to go play outside of your league and something big.
Right.
You know, I think that's always a great opportunity. That's some of the things that we're talking about, not just talking about, we're planning on doing this year, as we're looking at teams playing and competing in national championships and other tournaments. That's going to be a big deal, but also in line with what you guys are doing, you know, we're planning a Labor Day tournament that's going to be the Clash of the Champions. In that same vein, we want these teams the bragging rights, but not just the bragging rights. We're doing something pretty special that we talked about the other week. It's going to cost you, you know, to be in it. You know, your team's going to have to pay $500 to be a part of that, but we're going to do a 50-50 split where 37% of that will go to that first place team, and roughly about 12.5% will go to that second place team. But they'll have the bragging rights and they'll have a little bit of money. Only if your team has a 501c3. It's not going to individuals. That means coaches, you can't get that money put in your account. And we're not letting you pay kids. So we're talking about whoever your fall roster is. That's what we're looking for. And we've been able to share that with you. And I'm thankful that you guys at Northwest Facts have also put that in your recent edition to have that flyer out there. And we're going to continue to bring more details about that. And the hope is that all of what we're doing collectively, whether it's what you guys are doing, and we're thankful for the work that you guys do or work we're doing, we're all heading down toward the same direction. We're looking for Washington State Championship. You know, it's much, you know, negative talk is said about Friday Night Tykes. You know, I don't like the processes and some of the stuff they do as coaches. They need to clean that up.
Yeah.
But that Taifa is on to something about that Texas State Championship, and you're seeing that in Louisiana.
I agree.
You're seeing it, you know, in Tennessee. You know,
Arizona.
a lot of these states, Arizona, are going toward that model because it's preparing these kids, if they're serious about football, to get ready for what it's going to be on the next level. So we're going to continue to work together, and hopefully we're going to build something special to where all these kids will have an opportunity, you know, not only to shine on the field, but we want to make them better people. You know, and I think that football is a metaphor for life. You know, you can learn a lot of life lessons on the football field. And so you guys, as we're talking about these rankings, don't take it personal, but it's time to grind, you know, but stay humble. You know what I'm saying? Stay humble, but grind, you know, put in the work. Coaches, get ready. Northwest Power Ranking is coming. He just told us July, they go give us their preseason selection. Don't take it personal, but put a chip on your shoulder, you know what I'm saying, and be ready to go out there and show the world what you're working with. So once again, we thank you guys. We want to thank our special guest, Mike Bible, for coming out and sharing with us and exposing us to what's happening at Northwest Power Ranking. Signing off here from Northwest Premier Junior Football and more importantly, Premier Youth Sports. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. God bless.